Oh, I'm sorry.
And clip this around you. So, like I have my... not possible.
Can you reach it? Mm-hmm.
And it's on. Now we got one more clip.
Okay.
Let's go. Follow me. You know how to do it. And we have a few clips that we're going to play too.
Okay. Okay.
Four. Okay. We had number one, so we'll be good.
I tell you what, we'll go chronologically. Start with O Street all the way to the present.
Sure.
Okay.
Do you have a fan or something that I can, because I usually sweats.
I know exactly what you mean. Rita, I might need you to work with this. What's wrong? Because it's on the wrong side. But
I'll put it right here.
Okay, all right, thank you.
As long as your earring, oh no, your earring, let me put it down here a little more because your earring is
Hi.
in.
All right.
Okay.
Mr. Michael Hall.
And I'm Rita. I'll be
Thank
doing the
you.
sound in the back and doing the recording.
Have we introduced you? This is Rita Moore, our
Yes.
director.
Hello, very nice to meet you.
It's
My
a pleasure to meet you
Thank
as well. You're
My
beautiful.
pleasure, thank you.
And Miss Belinda Todd, our floor
Hi,
director.
hello Belinda.
Pleasure to meet you.
My pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Now people are seeing that.
And on Facebook.
Right.
you'll have something.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
She's talking to him, yes. I wasn't thinking about that. Belinda did that. I'm going to blame Belinda.
Is it okay if I'm over here?
I saw where you put it and that's fine with me. Okay, have a seat.
Okay. Excuse me.
It'll work.
Okay, so separate word with the divine. Let's
This
let's special. Let's reflect. Attention to those who will be at home watching on their laptop somewhere watching, and may it make a difference. And so we lift this up and release because we're done Justin, so it is.
I don't see where this is coming from. I'm sorry. Where's the trans? Oh, you have it on. Silly me. I didn't see her put it on. I apologize, Miss High. I didn't know that you had a transmitter, but we'll leave the transmitter where it is. Bring this around. Okay, have a seat again, and I'll put this on. Go ahead and have a seat. I should have come out in the beginning. Belinda knows what she's doing. So okay, both mics are positioned well. What do you think? Is that mic okay for you?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
All right, so I'm putting on your intro.
Thank you, intro.
Okay, now this is your camera. That's your camera, Miss High, that last one over there.
Oh, okay.
So, and then this is the one that will be on most of the time. It's both of you. Let me pull it in a little bit. So you want it to be right. That's perfect. Okay.
All right. Can we? Yes. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's go. Directing. I was doing an audition.
Oh, okay.
Trying to figure out who was going to make the cut.
Ah. Big difference.
And good evening. My name is Elroy Boyd III, and thank you for welcoming us into your home for a very special television event, because I am going to introduce somebody very special to you, and we need to kind of push along a little bit because of the amount of time that we have. But I want to let you know that there was an era of bootleg whiskey and bathtub gin, and during that time there was only one person who could put it succinctly, and that was the Empress of the Blues, and that was Bessie Smith. And then around the 40s or so, you had the president of the saxophone players, Lester Young, who titled Billie Holiday and titled her Lady Day. And then at the end of the summer of 1954, parents could not deny that their teenagers were dancing in the street to Martha and the Vandellas, and they were grooving and moving to the sounds of the father of rock and roll, Chuck Berry. A few years later came the British invasion, and during that time when the Brits and the Beatles and the Stones and everybody was taking over the charts, right here in the U.S., we had our own rock and roll queen, and that was Tina Turner. And so now, in this day and age, in the 21st century, we at Cultural Libations, we are going to present to you, ladies and gentlemen, Richmond, the goddess of soul, Miss Martha High.
Wow. I am so honored to be on that list.
And you,
my goodness.
And you are rightfully deserved to be on that list.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for coming to Richmond. And in case you are not aware, Martha High, of course she's here, but Friday at Union Bistro and Jazz, 2400 Northumberland Avenue, Martha will be giving a book signing and an author talk for her new book, He's a Funny Cat, Miss High, my 32 years singing with
the godfather of soul, Mr. James Brown.
Talk to us a little bit about your time with Mr. Brown.
Well, it was a memorable time. I will never forget it. I was very honored to be with him. The 32 years with him. I started in, shall I say what year I started? 1966.
Okay.
I started with him. I was with a group called the Four Jewels.
Right.
And we met Mr. Brown at the Howard Theater in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
And the second time we met him was at the Apollo Theater. Both times he came to our dressing room and complimented us on our performance.
Right.
And it was just unbelievable to have the Godfather of Soul in our dressing room, talking to us.
Definitely.
Telling us how much he enjoyed our show.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And then I think about 4 months later, he had told us to come to Cars Beach. He's going to be there, and that he wanted us to join him on his review. And oh my goodness, we had to go home and talk to our parents, you know, tell them about it. And
of course.
It was just something that we could, you know, like an offer that you can't refuse.
Yes.
That's exactly what it was.
And you were still in high school.
Yeah, yes. Yes, I was still in high school. Well, actually, I graduated the year that he asked us to come. I had graduated maybe like 2 years before that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was able to go, but still, you know, at that time you had to talk to your parents about everything.
Sure.
You know. So we did, and they approved us going out on the road with him. We went to Cars Beach. We met his manager. He gave us the contract. We looked it over, and I guess about 4 months later after that, we were with the James Brown Review.
Incredible.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yes, yes.
Speaking of parents and kind of getting that approval from them before taking such a big step, let's talk about your musical training. You grew up in Washington, D.C. On O Street. Is that southeast or?
No, O Street Northwest.
Northwest.
Yes, so that's where I was raised up as a child, and then we moved to Barnum Street Northwest. I was maybe about 10, about 10 when we moved up there, and that's where we lived for most of my time being there. In 1975, I left Washington, D.C. And adventured out to California.
Oh my.
Yeah. Well, and in 1975, I left Mr. Brown for a while.
Okay.
And I wanted to just kind of see if I could do something out there in that area. And when I went out there, it was just totally different than the East Coast. And I just decided, no, I don't want to do this. I got in touch with Mr. Brown and went back on the road with him.
Speaking of that time, the late 70s, we have a cut of Miss High. Not only did she sing with the Review and with the JBs, but she was also a solo artist in her own right. This is a song from her 1979 Salso LP. Wow. And Salso, that we're talking disco.
Yes,
disco.
That's what that era was, in the 70s.
Absolutely. And we're going to discuss it a little bit, but let's have a little bit of this clip here. If you don't love me if you don't respect me.
Oh, yes.
You don't love me if you don't respect me. That's a tongue twister. Hello? Hi, thank you. Can I have a format sheet, please?
Is that okay? Everything's going?
Splendiloquent, thank you. Okay, thank you, dear. Okay,
Wow,
we're a
I
little
haven't seen
late.
that in ages. Wow.
You look like you were having a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I was. I was like, okay, this is like being, Future Shock was like a runoff from a Soul Train. So, yeah, that was fun doing that.
An interesting concept with that performance. You were right in the center of the audience. There.
Yeah, on a platform. Yeah. He was big with platforms. My most memorable time was when we played Madison Square Garden, and he had me on platform, on pedestal, and I was like above the band and him, and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, because I was we opened up with the Big Payback.
Oh, okay.
And the highest voice on there.
Yes.
I opened up with that. Yeah. So.
Okay. Okay. Wow, disco, baby.
Oh, definitely. Disco era, yes, indeed.
And you were introduced, of course, by the Godfather himself. That was off of a television show called Future Shock. And
absolutely.
Produced by Mr. Brown,
Mr.
is that
Brown,
right?
yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Mr. Brown was really excited about this TV show. This was like one of his pet projects. He loved the fact that he had the dance show, and he would get out there and dance with the dancers that he had out there. And he was supposed to have an MC, a master of ceremonies, to do all of the announcing the guest and and bringing on different people, but he ended up doing it all himself. He just wanted to do everything. He wanted to produce, he wanted to be a part, he wanted to be the dancer, just everything. And it was great. It was great work, and he spent a lot of time in Future Shock, you know, when he had the show. He just spent most of the time working there than on the road.
Now, that was during a time when, because of disco and more people were going to discotheques, live performance wasn't that popular.
Wasn't happening, yes.
In this country. So was the show as a way of maybe compensating for the lack of live performances here?
Yes, it had a lot to do with that. He took that up. Like I said, it was a pet project of his, and he enjoyed working in there. But we also worked a lot in Europe because they had the big, huge discotheques, and we were able to work in the discotheque live. He had the band. The record company that he was with at that time didn't want him to perform with his band and told him to get rid of the band. But Mr. Brown said, no, I'm not going to. You know, I'm going to keep my band, and I'm not going to change my music. Although he ended up doing a disco album. I think it was called On Top of the World or something like that. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it. But it was a disco album, and it was a very, very good album. But still he refused to go all the way to disco. He just made the album, and I don't even think that we really performed maybe just one of the songs that was on the album at that time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Tell us about working with those fabulous musicians at that time with the JB, Sinclair Pinckney and Catfish Collins, and a band full of legends, really.
Well, unfortunately, when Bootsy Collins and his brother was there, I wasn't there. Marva Whitney was his solo artist at that time. But St. Clair Pinckney and Wayman Reed and Joe Dupas and so many Country and Jimmy Nolan. They were all there when I came out there with them, and that was just something awesome. Jabbo Stocks, Clyde Stubberfield. Yes. I worked with all of them, and it was great. And you know, just to be in with the best musicians at that time was just a blessing.
So when you work in the studio on your solo recordings, or when you're on tour yourself, what did you pick up from that experience? What did you learn from Mr. Brown that you incorporate into what you do today?
Well, going into the studios these days is totally different than what it was back in the day. We would go into the studio with all of the musicians, everyone in the same room. There was no division, you know, of not dividing the band, the horns here and the drums over here and the guitar.
You guys didn't overdub?
No.
Oh
no.
Okay.
Everything was done right in that room. Mr. Brown and the background singers, we all were in the middle of the room, and we performed that way. You know, it was recorded that way. But yeah, of course, it's totally different now. And it's when I first started doing my own thing and going into the studio without a band around me, I was petrified. I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this, because I was so used to recording the way that Mr. Brown did, you know, and it was quite different, and I had to get used to it, not having the band around me to urge me on, and not seeing their smiling faces and just the music right there in my ear. I had to get used to putting earphones on and, you know, recording. It was totally different. And what I learned, Mr. Brown was very, very particular about going into the studio, and he was the type of person that didn't like to record more than once or twice. You know, he would go through the song, and that was it. And if someone would say, well, I'd like for you to do that over again, no, I'm not doing it.
But there was excessive rehearsal to make sure you got that one take.
Oh, yes. We would definitely have the rehearsal, and not too much rehearsing now. I mean, you know, but I guess he knew what he wanted to hear. He knew what he wanted and how he wanted it to sound. So it really didn't take him long because, like I said, the musicians that he had working with him, they were geniuses.
And
I have to say that. And it wasn't long for them to get the groove, get the feel, and he's right there and leading them and pushing them
good
on.
musicians,
and it was just great. Yeah, it was just a great experience.
And all of this helps to make up the hardest working woman, the hardest working woman, and she even made a song about it. The next clip that we are about to show you is a song that was recorded in Italy and off of a record label in Italy. Is that correct?
Yes, Blind Faith Records.
Blind Faith Records.
Yes.
This is the hardest working woman, Miss Martha High. This is my favorite.
Yeah.
The colors and
it just puts you back in time. It goes back in time with the old TV and everything. It's really cool. Me and my different hairstyles.
Okay. Hi, Facebook. Yeah, Facebook. Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. Good point. Hi, Facebook. We are playing the video from Blind Faith Records. Blind Faith Records is a record company in Italy.
Wrong.
And what? Oh, well, we don't have time. But we're playing that right now, and I think what we're going to do after this one, we're probably going to wrap it up to get ready for Imaja's segment. Okay. All right, Michael. We can come back. We can come back to Comcast. You can tell Rita. You cannot miss Friday night. You cannot miss Friday night. Friday night, she's going to tell you how to TCB your TYA.
That's right. That's right. The James Brown way. And Martha High.
And, Italy, you're bigger in Europe. And you play with a lot of bands there. Talk about those bands: Speedometer, the Shaolin,
Temple Defenders.
First off, the very first thing I have to ask is, what is the difference between European audiences and American audiences?
Wow. The difference is that the Europeans and other countries, they have done their homework about who was in the past and who really made the music, how the music came about. They appreciate our music, and when I say that, I mean the black music, and it's such a blessing because they can actually, most people that you speak with in Europe, they can tell you exactly what went on years ago when the song came out of Mr. Brown and how long I was with him and what songs I sang on, and it's very amazing. But then when you come to the States, sometimes, and it's kind of saddens me too, because I can talk to a younger person, maybe in their 20s, and they say, "Who is James Brown?"
Oh my goodness!
Who is James Brown? And that's, wow, that kind of hurt, because you would think that that our younger people would know the history of our music and how it came about, how the funk came about, because Mr. Brown created the funk. And it would be nice if they would embrace us or just kind of know about our music and where it really come from. A lot of the songs that the young people sing today are songs from the past, but they don't know that. They think that that's a new song from, some of the artists, Mary J. Blige and other artists and everything, they think they're new songs, but these are songs from the past.
Sampled.
Yes.
Speaking of, the music of the past and, all of the music that you have been immersed in, you've also done a little bit of jazz.
Yes, yes. I'm venturing into that now,
Okay.
and I love it. I never. Well, yes, I did. I always thought about doing jazz, but I just didn't think that I could do it. But I listened. I started studying jazz and listening to jazz. I'm still growing, but I enjoy when I get the chance to do it. As a matter of fact, I have a tour coming up in November with a trio called the Soul Cookers in Europe.
Wow.
And I'm so looking forward to that. And singing jazz, yes.
Incredible.
Yes.
We have a little clip here. That's to be our last clip before we take it over to Imaja Jubilee, who will handle our second part of tonight's special. But this is a little ditty called Sunny, okay?
Yes.
Are we getting sunny? Are we getting sunny? If we're not, okay, here we go. So jazzy.
Oh, great. They're great guys, too. Very good musicians. Very, very good. Yamaja and I was harmonizing on "Gotta Take You Higher" at the radio station, the last one that we were at.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was fun.
Oh, my goodness.
She started saying, "Gotta take you higher," so we just kind of blended, and that was fun.
Oh, boy.
So I didn't know that
missed
she
that.
sang as well.
Yeah, she's
Yeah, she has great voice. Yeah, very nice.
Okay. Yeah. Versatile chops, versatile chops. She can do it all, ladies and gentlemen. She can do jazz, soul, blues, and funk. 2400 Northumberland Avenue, Friday. There are 2 sessions on Friday, one at 6 o'clock and one at 8 o'clock. This is the book, He's a Funny Cat, Miss High, my 32 years singing with James Brown. Martha has a lot of stories. Please come and take advantage of this. Get to meet her and such. And one thing that you talked about as far as today's music, Mr. Brown said that 80% of today's music comes from him, and I believe that. You can hear it, you know?
Yes. The different beats and the guitar lines, bass lines,
Yes.
and then sampling his voice, in the different songs. And it's amazing that you hear so much of him. I heard a song on the radio the other day by a rapper, and just tiny bits of his voice in different spots.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Because you were really there, you were in it.
Yes.
You can pick it up faster than anyone else.
Absolutely. Yes, I can.
Before I go, clarify something for me.
Yes.
There are just numerous things written in produced about Mr. Brown. One book says, Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, first funk song. Then there's a documentary that said Cold Sweat was the first funk song. Which was the first funk song?
Cold Sweat.
Cold Sweat.
I
Okay.
believe, yes. Now that's what I believe.
I'm going to take your word for it because you were there.
Yes.
And we are going to come out of this segment with Cold Sweat. This was in Paris. This performance here coming up. And stay tuned for Lady Amaja Jubilee as Amaja takes sort of a lighter, humanistic side to Miss High. Okay? It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right.
So now we have to change out the guard.
Okay.
And I will just have you come back. Thanks, dear.
Oh, yes, thank you, Mr. Floyd. I appreciate it. Okay.
All right. This is my first piece. You take a look at post. Can you do the step? I can't do the step.
Oh, yeah. I can do it a little bit. I have to have on certain shoes. Let me see. Yeah, this is rubberized, so it would be...
No,
it would
not
be.
now. Monday this week.
Yeah, okay.
Teach me Monday this week.
Yeah, we'll do it on Friday.
Okay. All right, all yours on.
All right.
Imaje.
So what do I
How do you have that? Michael, can you help us with how? Yeah.
Thank you. So far, so good.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Are we ready then? Yeah. All right, let's go.
All right. And welcome back to the second half of Cultural Libations' first ever TV show, and we're on Facebook too.
as well. And we thank you for joining us. And one of the things that I know for sure, I have been with this wonderful lady all day.
Yes.
We've been all day.
We have had such a busy, blessed, and successful day, I believe.
Yes, we have.
I can say
and
that.
I'm just so appreciative of your gifts and your talents. And I want to talk, I want to turn it around a little bit. And I want to ask you, what inspires you? Who or what inspires you?
Well, I think that you know the question, the answer to that. You know, I put God first in my life because I just feel like nothing, you cannot accomplish anything not unless you put Him first. And then I set goals of what I wanted to do, how I want to do it, and having Him in my life and being blessed, it's not hard. It comes. You have to work for it. You have to work and plan for it, and you stick to what you want to do. I think that changing your mind constantly or something like you never can get anything done. You just push forward, keep looking forward.
So how growing up the way where you did and how you did with your parents, what values did they instill in you as a young girl that you still carry forward today?
Well, I started singing in church.
Yes.
And my mother and father was rather strict, and I think that it was okay because they did that because they were concerned about me, and they wanted me to be the best that I can be. They were very big on education, getting my education, and they were very supportive when they found out that I wanted to be a singer. At least my dad, for a while, he said, why don't you get a 9 to 5?
Yeah, 9 to 5 job. Okay.
Yeah, I always call it a gig, but he said, get a 9 to 5 gig, that'll pay you some money, And I went to college, but I still knew that I wanted to be a singer.
You still knew you wanted to be a singer?
Yeah, I did. I knew that I wanted to be a singer at a kind of young age, and when I got the opportunity to start singing with the Four Jewels, I really kind of felt then, oh yes, this is what I want to do, and I don't want to turn back once we met James Brown.
Yes. Well, you know what, I wanted to ask you, because I've been waiting, saving this question all day. With your level of celebrity, okay, because you are known worldwide, and some people that are known as celebrities, some of the people that I have met, they get their head all up some other place, and they leave out the grounding from which they came. They forget where they come from.
Yeah.
And so how do you keep yourself centered and not get caught up in all the hoopla? That's Martha Hyde. That's Martha Hyde. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people get caught up in who they are externally, and what they've become in the world. So how do you keep yourself humble?
Because what I do is a blessing, and it was a gift from God to have a voice. And I know that I think that I would like to be treated, I would like for people to treat them the way that I treat them. I would like for I treat them the same way that they treat me. I don't believe that that I should put my head up in the air and act as if I don't know people, because if you go up, you got to come down.
Got to come down.
And I get along with people, and I think that's the best thing to do. When I sing, it's about love, and it's about sharing.
Yes.
And you can't give love and share with people if you got your head up in the air, and you feel that some people feel that they're better than others, and I don't think that's right to feel that way, because they're the people that make us.
Yes.
They're the ones that are buying our music, coming to the show, supporting us and everything. And I just don't think we should...
Yes, and I'm so happy to hear you say that, because the show that I have is called Love, Life, and Positivity.
Yes.
And I feel like you bring positivity through your music. That's your medium, that's your vehicle God has given you, and you go and you spread whatever it is that you have as that gift to the world, and sharing it with the world.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about your family. And I know you have a daughter. I met her, and she's such a beautiful person.
Yes, she is. I think she's absolutely wonderful.
Yes, and she
Yes, I also I had two sons, and
Okay.
I lost both of them in 1995.
Yes.
But I was blessed, and they had children before they passed away, and I have three fantastic, handsome grandsons.
Grandson.
Yes, and I have three beautiful, very smart and intelligent. Not that my sons are not intelligent, but they are. But three beautiful, intelligent young ladies, granddaughters.
A granddaughter.
Yes, and then I have.
So you're a grandmother,
Yes,
and you just
I'm a
mom.
grandmother.
You're not mother. You. How do you switch the roles when you come off of doing a gig or appearance, and you have to change your hat, so to speak?
Well, you know, I love spending time with my grandkids when I can, because just to be able to come home and have some quiet time.
Quiet time.
Yes, quiet time with them, and talk and laugh with them, listen to what they're doing, you know, listen to them about their lives, and they share their lives with me and everything. And that's a beautiful thing, because
beautiful thing.
Yeah, you know, and they don't look at me to say, that's grandma the singer, you know.
Okay.
I'm their grandma.
You're their grandmother.
Yes, yes.
And then you're a mother to start.
Yes.
You're a mother.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and she's a beautiful person. You know, I love her. She's very supportive. All of my grandkids and my daughter are very supportive.
Yes.
And my brothers, I have two brothers, and just a gang of nieces and nephews and cousins
Yes.
that are very, very supportive to me, and I love spending time with them whenever I can.
Well, you know, when I look back over your career and where you've been, and I hear you talk about so much of where you've been, and I know in order, just like you had a vision, God gave you a vision
Yes.
of what you wanted to be, and you accomplished it.
Yes.
Now where you are in your career as a woman, as an African American woman, as a black woman, what is the vision that you have for yourself now?
My vision now is to continue bringing and making music that's inspiring to our black women, and something that my grandkids and my children and other young people can listen to and enjoy and get something out of it, to inspire them to become musicians or singers. And that's what I'd like for them to see me as a person that had given them inspiration to become a singer or something like that. It's very important that they look at things and have an education first.
An education.
First and foremost, to get an education, and it's a beautiful thing to be able to travel around the world, to meet other cultural and other people in different countries and everything. You know, they learn, and I think that you can learn how to get along with people more and be more open to share your love.
And share your love.
Yes, and I feel that my music is about love.
Yes.
And it's about sharing, and it's about being happy.
And you're the light. You bring the light. You know how we have people. You bring the light.
Thank
You bring light. And you smile. And I've noticed from over the period of time that we've had some very good conversations. And it's always about being spiritual. I mean, based out of being spiritual.
Oh, definitely.
And I admire that about you. So, what is something that somebody don't know about you? Tell us something that someone don't know. Something. I mean, I know you've written a book and you put lots of stuff, but tell us something that you want people to know that they don't already know about Martha. Martha, the woman. Martha, the black woman. Martha, the person, the human being.
Well, gee whiz, what I'm sure that a lot of people that know me didn't know that I was interested in writing. I did go to college to take up
Painting.
Well, yes,
See, that's the thing I'm waiting for you to say. I'm waiting for you to say. Paint. I know it.
yeah. Well, that is very true. A lot of people don't know that I'm an artist.
Yes, you're an
as
artist.
well as
yes, you're
I love to paint and,
Yes.
and draw and
yes.
and it's a beautiful thing. I have a painting hanging up in a church in South Carolina.
Okay.
And it's the and forgive me for not remembering the name of the church, but it's the Mr. Brown's daughter, Deanna Brown Thomas, is a member of this church.
Okay.
And this is where Mr. Brown, we had his...
And I've been to the church. I know exactly where
yeah.
Yes.
We
Yes.
had his funeral there. So,
Yes.
so if you were there, since Mr. Brown's passing,
Yes.
well, the painting that's hanging up in the church, I painted that church.
Oh,
that
right. Yeah, and see,
Yeah.
look, that's what I want. See, she's a singer. She shares her light through writing and bringing music to the world, and also just being that is such a special gift. I mean, you're multi-talented.
Oh.
You know, multi-talented. So, what pearl of wisdom would you like to give to people? What are some pearls of wisdom from your life that you've just sort of, you know how we go through life and stages in life, we evolve and we change, and we might gather something from this section, we take to the next one. We gather from this part of our life, we might gain another piece of wisdom, and you live by that wisdom because that becomes your belief and your way of being in the world.
Exactly.
So what wisdom would you like to pass on?
To continue to pray first for whatever you want to do, and continue to pray. When you ask the Father to do something for you, don't give up. Don't give up. Wait for it. Wait for Him, but continue to pray.
Yes.
Because if you do that, I feel that once He answers your prayers, you might not be there when you want Him.
But He's right on time.
He's right on time all the time. So it's important to keep God in your life and to keep Him the head of your life, and you can accomplish anything that you want to if you believe. And you keep, if you have a dream or you have something in mind that you want to do, you work at that and you keep doing it. You don't stop.
Yeah, well, you can
Believe in what you do.
Yeah, and we can say that about you because you're still going strong and still
yes.
have vision.
Yes,
We are just have been so excited and so blessed to be with Miss High all day. And we want to remind you again, as Everett Board Third said, to join us on Friday night at Union Bistro and Jazz. And she will be telling stories from her book, He's a Funny Cat, Miss High, My 32 Years of Singing with James Brown. And I'm sure that you will learn many, many more things about her. And you get a chance to just meet her up close and personal because she's a very warm and very personable person. And we ask that you just remember what Miss High has said is what we all need to be about. And that is about love.
Yes.
And remember, we didn't make ourselves. We get our energy and our vibration from something bigger than ourselves, and that is God.
Exactly.
And praying and keep on moving on through life as it is.
Yes, and you continue to pray, and you think about sharing love, because there's a lot of people that need love, especially with what has happened in Houston and what has happened.
Hurricanes, yes.
Yeah, the hurricanes and everything, and you need to really be able to share and know that when you share love and when you give love, it makes such a big difference to people that
yes, it
that's
does.
in need. Yeah.
And we thank you, and we want you all to remember to come and be a part of us on Friday night. And that's it. No, keep it going. Break. Okay, we'll have a break now. Look, I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see.
These earrings are falling apart every time. This one fell just a minute ago, and now this one is falling.
Belinda wanted to follow the piece when I come back in so that we can end it formally. And we also want to tell them where and how they can get a book.
Okay.
How you doing?
I'm good. Do you think I'm
no,
okay?
I saw you fanning. I didn't know if you wanted to block. Good.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So how much?
So, Jamaji, you're gonna tell them where everything. Okay.
To tell Rita I got a third mic on. However good it may be. Because this is a complex.
say all 3 minutes.
Beside her or what? Because you're not going to use the phone. Or he can sit on the, take the phone down and sit on the stool.
Turn around. Yeah,
You're part of the group here.
Ready?
Yes. Wonderful.
Can I tell you, the ladies in the booth love that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Great.
that
Thank
was the one you wanted
you.
to play.
Well, I was surprised that you had that particular video.
Yeah. So we want to remind you too, you can get the book at Amazon.com. You can order from Amazon or CreateSpace.com as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. Or you just show up Friday,
Just show up Friday.
September the
That's better.
15th. Absolutely.
And that'll be when you can come and get a personal book signed. She'll greet you, and all the other things that happen when you interact with Miss High. I promise you, you will not forget it because she makes a wonderful, 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 wonderful
Yeah,
person.
she took care of ours.
Yes, right. She autographed.
Do the same for you.
Yes.
So they took me home with them, so you can do the same thing.
That's right. That's right. And it's a good read. It's an easy read, and the stories are so interesting.
Thank
So if you want to get a close peep up and personal, there's a lot of personal stuff in this book as well.
Yes, I did share a lot about not a lot, but a little about my life and everything. I thought it was good for the people to know me and then go into, about my music life, but to know my family and just share a little bit of,
Tell me something. Do you have any pet peeves? Anything that ticks you off? You know how you feel people have tick you off? Like, I know I have them. I know I have.
Yeah, I do. I have one of my pet peeves. When I'm talking to someone and they don't let me finish, and they try to tell me what I'm going to say.
Oh.
Like, why is it that you feel that you know what I'm going to say? And that bothers me, I said, no, let me tell you what I'm going to say. I think it's better for you to let me finish my own sentence or something.
Yes, definitely. So I've asked you a question about what the pearls of wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
What person, if you could have a conversation with, living or dead, who would it be?
In the music business or just?
In just general, in any business, any person that you could sit down and talk to.
I would like to sit down and talk to Tina Turner.
Oh, Tina Turner.
The goddess of soul and the queen of rock.
I really would.
That I would not miss.
I'll tell you.
I think that she's. I think that she's a very wise person. And
Have you ever met her?
Oh yes. She's very, very nice. But never really had a chance to go into a deep conversation with her or anything like that. But it's just something about her that I love the quietness about her.
Yeah.
As far as a person is concerned, and then I love her energy on stage.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's something else.
She's beautiful. Yeah.
Beautiful person.
Yes, she is.
And just like Tina evolved into who she is and from the experiences that she had to become who she is now, I see you in that same way. Because you've gone through ups and downs, around the curve, around twists and turns, and had some days maybe they weren't so good. But you landed on your feet.
Yes. Praise the Lord. I give all the praises to God.
And then when you land on your feet, you had that song called "I Got Something to Shout About."
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And that came about when Mr. Brown was in prison, and I sat around thinking that I didn't have to work, and after a while I realized that, hey, wait a minute, I just can't sit around and do nothing, and I'm spending all of my money and don't have anything coming in. I'm going to have to do something about that. And I really didn't go out to try and go get back into my music. I ended up getting a 9-to-5 gig, and But at first, I had a selfish thing going. I felt that somebody should just give me a job, or I didn't want to go out looking for the job. I just figured my brothers, my friends, should take me around, ride me around to look for a job. Then I realized they couldn't do that, And why do I think that they owe me something like that? Why do I think that they should take me around? And something hit me and said, no one owes you anything. If you want...
That was God.
Yes, it was. Absolutely, absolutely.
You mark the high. You realize that no one...
Yeah, no one owes me anything, If you want it, you go out there and get it.
That's wonderful.
Stop being lazy. Get up and do it. And that's what I did. I apologized to my brothers because I was a little rude at times to them. I apologized to them as well as to my friends. And 2 weeks later, after that, I got a job.
Wonderful.
I got a job and my car and everything.
Yes.
It was just a blessing. And I knew that it was from God, and I thanked him. I praised him. And I remember one morning waking up and just shouting around the house because I was getting dressed to go to work. And I said, I got something to shout about.
You got something to shout about.
I
Well, we want
something to shout about.
Our time has come to an end
Yes.
here, but not for what we got to see y'all Friday
Yes.
at 6 o'clock.
We'll see you then.
Yes.
6 o'clock and 8 o'clock. And telephone numbers for contact or more information you need will be given to you at the end of this special.
Yes. Thank you so very much, Ms.
Oh, my
Allen.
pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I
Yes,
appreciate your
yes.
support. Thank you. Wonderful. That's nice.
Yeah, it's too late now.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Is that what you wanted to
No, that's the intro again. We had an outro too, but that's okay.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
So we still on Facebook?
Yeah.
Tell them whatever you want to.
Oh, okay. So anything you want to tell them on Facebook?
Well, Facebook people, thank you for joining us for our first Facebook presentation. It's been a pleasure and a joy. And we want to thank again Ms. High for all of y'all for watching us on Facebook. And look out for more from Cultural Libations.
If I can have the Facebook mic. Okay, Richmond. You can give us a call either at 757-285-2117 or 434-808-2472. If you need any more information about Friday night and for tickets, tickets are still available, especially for the 6 o'clock session, okay?
It'll be $15 at the door.
It will be $15 at the door. So maybe you want to give us a call.
Yeah.
What was that, Mike?
So hey, for people that know me, tell them they can call me if you want to get tickets.
For anyone who knows Michael A. Hall, call him for tickets, okay?
Inbox me on Facebook.
Inbox him on Facebook,
And
okay?
I know I have a lot of friends in Richmond, Virginia, and in the area around Richmond, Virginia. I want to see you there too.
That's right. That's wonderful. Okay, I think that's a wrap.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, splendidly. Now, can we see that when we get home?
I think we should be able to.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful.
All right. See you.
So, yeah.
So you'll put that in. Use that for Friday night too. Add it up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's really nice.